Hey folks, what are good money habits to have and implement? Join me, let's talk about it. Hi folks, welcome to The Way I See It, which is my podcast on all things money, finance, and the economy. So this week I want to talk about good money habits. What are the things that you can do every time, daily, that will just make you a better investor or a better manager of money? Because everyone struggles with money. I've struggled with money. And the way to get out of a quote unquote struggling culture is to just change out your habits. If you do things in a certain way, change out how you do them, and then keep doing good things, and eventually you then get good results, right? So what are good money habits to adopt? Let me share a few with you. I think the first thing to do is to identify all your income sources and make sure they go to one particular place. So what I mean is identify where all your money comes from: your salary, i.e. your active income, and your passive income. And before you spend it, collect it somewhere, i.e., like in a bank or in an account. So, good money management will start with you accounting for all your income, and you want to automate your income. So, if you do a job and someone wants to give you a check, make you can collect, but if you can pay direct to the bank, that would be excellent. So you don't have any cash coming to you first. It's paid to the bank. You can track everything that goes in there, and you can have two accounts. You can have one for your active income, which is like your salary income, and you can have one for your passive income, which is like for your side gigs or for your investments, your dividends, your rental returns. Like, so everything that you make, you want to be able to track all that you are making, and you want all that you make it to go to one bank and sit in one bank or two bank accounts, that you can see it before you can spend it. And you can automate all this. We automate salaries. You can also automate how you collect the rent. Tell your tenants, pay rent to this account. Same thing with your dividends. Pay your dividends to this account. Automate it. Do let it just go in there. The point is this: don't give yourself the opportunity to stop the flow of money going into an account. Don't spend before you get it, right? So that all the money has gone into an account. What next should you then do? I think the next good habit to do is to pay yourself first. That means once the money is in an account, you have to say, I want to first of all invest in me, even before I pay any bills and all that. The first way you invest in yourself is to have an emergency fund. Your emergency fund is the first way you invest in yourself. So, what's an emergency fund? You take all your expenses, you list out all your expenses. From your expenses, you then categorize. So if you have food, you can have utilities, you could have, say, education. Those are all categories. In those categories, you want to define what is essential and what is not essential. So what I mean is, what can must you pay without your discretion? Like rent, you have to pay rent, right? You have to feed. Those are like essential. But what about a holiday? You don't have to go on a holiday. You don't have to buy a new shoe. Those are going to be non-essential. So your emergency fund is going to be 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses, what we call your non-discretionary expenses. That's going to be your emergency fund. So the very, very first thing you want to do is to build out 3 to 6 months of your emergency fund. So once you have this built out, that's your first investment, then you can then start to say, hey, I'm going to invest 1% or 2% of my income into an investment fund for myself. So the first thing, like we said, is to make sure you collate all your income to go to one particular source. The second good money habit is to ensure that you pay yourself first from that income that you have collated. And we've said the way to pay yourself first is to start off with an emergency fund. And after an emergency fund, you can then say, hey, I want to invest 1%, 2%, 3% into an investment scheme, and see how much you can grow that without really affecting your ability to pay your bills and to live a life, right? The key thing here is automation. As much as possible, try to make everything automated. So pay your bills, set it up on auto pay. So if you have a credit card, let your bills go to your credit card, then clean out your credit cards as soon as you do that. If you have a bank account, try to make sure your income comes into your account via auto deposit. Pay your bills through auto deposit. Let your tenants pay into your bank account through auto deposit. Everything is automated. It removes the temptation for you to dip your hands in and say, hey, I gotta go for this holiday. I'm gonna take and I'll pay the money back. No, it's already set up for you, it's already automated. That's a good way to ensure that you stay disciplined, right? We're not always disciplined because we're emotional, we're humans, but technology can force us to be disciplined. And that's basically what we want to achieve. We want to use technology to make ourselves better. And by making ourselves better daily, we then build out a habit. And when we do those habits day by day, it eventually cascades into a good outcome for us. So, in recapping, collate all your expenses into one spot. Then, when your expenses are only one, when your income is all in one spot, pay yourself first. And the first way you pay yourself is with your emergency fund. The next is then going to be an investment fund. Then you can then pay your normal non-essential bills, and always automate. Make automation your friend in all this, right? There are lots of good apps out there. There's Mint, that you can use. There's Monify that can track your expenses for you, and most banks already have a feature that allows you to do most of this, right? So try to take advantage of it. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Do follow on Twitter. The address is going to be FinPlan Kalu Ajo1. I do hope to see you guys again next week. Thank you for listening. Stay safe out there. Bye.